Hello again. Let's look at our second preposition, up. We're going to do the same thing. Read, try to guess what up might mean in this case, which does not mean the direction up, and then I will give you some clues. So, eat your vegetables. Everybody knows it's important to eat carrots, to eat broccoli, to eat vegetables. Good. But we're not talking about eating, we're talking about eating up your vegetables. This is a mother or a father with their child. Eat up your vegetables, or if not, you won't have any ice cream. Okay? We've used up all the ink in the printer. We need to go and get another cartridge. You are having a coffee, you are in a cafe, in the bar or whatever, and somebody tells you, you are drinking coffee, for example, and somebody says, drink up, we're leaving. You are already drinking. I tried lifting the rock, but in the end, I gave up. You probably know what give up means in any case, but you know the definition of give up. But you have not thought about the meaning of up in this phrasal verb. Think about it now. And finally, number 5. There were no buses, so we ended up taking a taxi. End up is not the same as finish. Okay? So, let me give you the answer. If you need more time, stop the video now. Up means completely, 100%, to finish completely. So eat up your vegetables. Don't just eat a piece of carrot and a piece of broccoli. You need to eat up your vegetables. You need to finish the vegetables on your plate before you can have ice cream. Number 2, we've used up all the ink in the printer. We've used it and it's finished. It's finished. It's completely gone. Okay? It has been used completely. Drink up, we're leaving. Finish your coffee. Finish your coffee. I tried lifting in the rock, but in the end, I gave up. I gave up. Give up is one of these phrasal verbs that doesn't sound logical. It's one of, when people say phrasal verbs are not logical, it's very possible that they're thinking of give up. Okay? But really, there is logic in give up. When you think of older English in the past, when you have a battle, you lose the battle, and you take your sword, your weapon, and you have to give it up. You have to give it up. You have to give it completely. You surrender. It's finished. The battle is over. You give the sword up. Okay? So, in many cases, when you say there is no logic to phrasal verbs, there is, although it is a logic that has come from the past and maybe is not so obvious for us. In the end, I gave up. I stopped trying. I surrendered. I desisted. I can't think of any more synonyms at the moment. Number 5, there were no buses, so we ended up taking a taxi. End up is an interesting phrasal verb. There is something I have to tell you here. It's something which is basically grammatical in all of English, but it is very useful when talking about phrasal verbs. When you put a preposition and a verb together in English, except to, the preposition to is not included in this rule, but all the other prepositions, a preposition and a verb next to each other, almost always will be ing on the verb. Okay? So when you think about any, without knowing, I had discovered the secret. I had found out the secret. After having breakfast, I took my bag and I went to school, for example. So when you have a phrasal verb followed by another verb, this will almost always be ing, the gerund on the second verb. Okay? Good. There were no buses, so we ended up taking a taxi. As a consequence of something, we went into another action. Okay? So people ask me, how did you end up in this situation? They are not saying that the situation has finished. They are saying, as a consequence of that situation, how did you end up here? Okay? So there were no buses, so we ended up taking a taxi. In each of these situations, up means the sense of completion, the sense of finishing something. There are no buses, we have to finish that. And this is the consequence of that situation. Okay? So we have our second preposition. Up gives the meaning of finishing, of completing something, of 100%. Good. In the next lesson, we will talk about around.